So I'm CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, and this is going to be kind of a special little episode of my vlog that I'm going to call Tales from the Desk. And all of this is from my desk, except those little small bags. They're from my closet. Okay. I'm serious. Look at these. Look at these piles of paper and everything. I'll tell you all about it. It was because I was in search of what's in here, a birth certificate. The beautiful night out here, by the way. Let's see. Okay, I still have this pen in my hand. That's how crazy. Okay, so I'll just put it up here, my neck, so I don't leave it out here. Okay. The reason why all that paperwork is pulled out and everything is quite literally because I've been dealing with, I guess, I needed to collect paperwork when I went on my first cruise ever a few months ago with my friend Jay, and then I came home and I kept all that stuff together because I knew I was going to turn around and go on a cruise. But then over the course of that time, I had to renew my lease, and then there was an issue with my lease and some bureaucracy and everything going on with the rent control department. And so I sought out legal guidance from my local legal aid. And if I tell you let me show you how local aid is. It is right this little tiny little building there. That's my legal aid. So there's a street that goes right there, and that's the back end of the legal aid. That little garage looking thing on the front side of it is it's hard to make out at night, but it's just a couple of blocks. So it's like makes no sense to have questions about Louisiana law, about property and real estate law and everything. No, I wasn't trying to take any sort of action. I just wanted to know about, because everything in my lease was like, here's this, all these crucial conditions, and then of course they're all void if not upheld by Louisiana law, because local real estate law defers to state real estate law in our city. I don't know if all of the state is like that, but in Shreveport, property law defers to Louisiana law. And so, yeah. And I'm glad, because it was after that I had the issue with the payment app or whatever. But anyway, in the course, I needed to do proof of ID for all those things, proof of identification, and legal citizenship too. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. And so, yeah. But so today I got home, I went to the library, and the library with all the books and computers and things. That's where you used to go and read books. Now you go there and you can play on computers or whatever. I should have looked at some magazines while I was there. But anyway, I was able to print out 3 boarding passes, because I'm taking 3 small consecutive cruises. And then, of course, I'm actually taking 6 small consecutive cruises on the same ship. However, they're broken up into 6 pieces. So, but yeah, in order to do that, you have to have either the real ID, in which you need a birth certificate to get, or you can actually use your birth certificate with a standard ID, But either way, I was like, oh my God, I don't know in which particular folder I put the birth certificate with, because first it was with my travel papers, and then I put it back into, and of course I should have known, it ended up being in a cellophane photo album. And that makes sense because when my family, we archived all of our documents in this great huge cellophane photo album where people used to keep Polaroids and snapshots and everything before. And you know what's so funny is that those photos last a lot longer than the ones that we take now. We take photos and we share them momentarily, but they're not sentimental. It used to be when we took pictures, it was because there was a special event or special gathering, and we'd take it to commemorate an event, and then we'd take those photos, and we'd take two or three pictures each, and each party would take one home with them or whatever, or we could take a roll of film and get it developed. Now they do all that digitally, but yeah, it's like, there's something to be said, I think, for hard copy. I think that's something we've gotten away from. It'd be fun to kind of start back up. My friend Rusty is a photographer. I would say it's his hobby, but he's actually had showings and has offered some of his work for sale. So who knows? But that's a big thing too. You go on this cruise, everybody wants to take photos. I'm going to be out there for like a month. I'm not going to get like any real. I don't know. It's like I'm going to have my memories, but I'd be more inclined to get a photo if it's one in which I'm looking good. And I'm like in my 50s, and what that means is that in order for me to like a photo, I have to be all about, my hair's got to be perfectly placed. I've got to be looking this way. Hang on. Yeah, so like this is like I'm frazzled right now, but it's cool. I just found my birth certificate. I don't mind talking about it. And I've made videos with myself being somewhat looking, all kind of disheveled and haphazard. So that's no big deal. That's fine. This is my vlog. Sometimes I just want to be. I just want to talk about myself and my experience in a real kind of way, without necessarily putting on. A nice jacket or whatever. It's okay. Actually, I do more of this type of stuff than I do special event kind of vlogging anyway. But this is what this is kind of yeah, whew. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but I guess it was around the New Year's, I kept thinking of what can I do. I don't want to do a resolution. I don't want to quit anything. I don't want to blah blah blah. But maybe I could think of something positive to do, and I'd think of it later. And one of the things that I thought about was going through my files in this roll top desk. And this roll top desk that I have is one that my friends Paul and Jana gave me. They got married, and when they got married, they had two huge houses full of furniture, and they were going to combine their households, and then they actually ended up buying a property that they really loved in a township that they liked called Mountain View, Arkansas. And I'm set to travel up there. It's about 4 or 5 hours north of where I am, and I'm set to go there sometime in April. My birthday's in April, and Jana's birthday is in April, and yeah. So I just think it'd be nice to for us to go do that, and then of course. Yeah, and I haven't been there, and supposedly it's a self-proclaimed folk music capital of the country, so, or the world or something. So I'm excited for that. And she does all these great, pottery classes, and it's wonderful. And I think my friend Mike's going to go with me, and Yeah, he's a gym buddy. And I think that if we go up there, it's kind of cool because he's very crafty. He's into that kind of stuff, and so yay. But boy, uh, he was like, "I'm glad you found it because you were stressed." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm stressing because it's like today, is the eve of Valentine's on a Saturday, and I'm not going to be able to get to the uh, Hall of Records at the parish courthouse, and so." Um, what would I do? Like yeah, Monday is President's Day. Are the municipal buildings going to be open on President's Day? And if not, then that means I could have gotten to it on Tuesday, but it would have been one day that I had to get something. And what if the system was down, or if there's some sort of protocol, a statewide computer or something that was taking too long, and I didn't get it done, and I'm set to leave Wednesday. I'm set to depart from my bus station at 8:35. I love to take a bus when I travel longer distances because I love to see things, and it's certainly cheaper than the train. If I were to take a train from Shreveport, I'd have to take a bus to Marshall, then take that train, I think, north to St. Louis, and then St. Louis, I think, no, wait, no. He said, when I talked with him, he said the bus goes from here, from Marshall, it goes down to New Orleans, and then from New Orleans goes all the way up to D.C., Washington, D.C., and then goes straight down the coast highway to all the way down to Miami. So that would have added a week's worth of travel. It would have been fun to do that, and I would love to be able to one day take a long train trip. But in this time, I decided to take a bus. I'm very familiar with traveling by Greyhound bus. It's kind of like the city bus of the world. Greyhound is kind of part of the way going over to Atlanta. It's going to be a Greyhound, and then when I leave Atlanta, it's going to be on something called a Flixbus, which is I think it's a German-owned company, and I think it's because they actually bought out Greyhound. They say they're partnering with Greyhound. I think it's just that they haven't integrated their entire company yet. But Greyhound is no longer an entirely American-owned company, unless something's changed in the last few years. But I think it was headquartered in Dallas, Texas, I think, and I think that it was actually acquired by a German company. I don't know. Not that I care or anything like that. I like to travel by bus. I meet some of the coolest people traveling on a bus. It's so awesome. And yes, no, before I go on a bus, I'm probably going to have a hat on. My hair is going to be defrizzed and conditioned and everything. But yeah. And I'm relieved. I tried very hard to communicate with the ladies in my office because my rent app has been, where my payment tool has there's been a malfunction that's been going on for months. But I think what it is, and I may have talked about this, I don't know. I'm sure I must have by now, but I think what it is I think the accounting is skewed because my rent change did not happen until November, but all up and down the information that this payment app has is that my payment changed in October, and of course my lease begins at the September the 28th, so it's just a few days, but no, it was the change didn't happen until November, so all the accounting is very skewed, and it may be because of that. Maybe that's why it's not accepting month by month me being able to pay in the app. But also, it says that my account is there's no outstanding balance, and that it will not let me make advance payments. And I tried to do that, and I tried to explain to the management team, the ladies that do the management in the office, that I'm going to be out of town. I've told them several times, 2 or 3 times, so they're aware of it. I've given notes to the head office of the management that, hey, by the way, my apartment, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to attempt to pay the rent via the app like I'm supposed to, and of course I will be in contact if something happens and I can't make that payment. I'll let you know, but I'm gonna be out of town easily until the 17th or 18th of March. So I'm gonna be gone roughly a month, and so we hope everything all works out. I really do hope it works out. But I'm not going to suffer a lot of anxiety about it, and I will just come back and deal with it. And if there's something to deal with, as I've talked about, I've already got legal advisors. And I went to them for one reason, and then these other issues started happening. And so they're just very interested in watching what's going on. And I really think I've got this sense that they're waiting for the apartment management to put one toe out of line, and then they're like going to be like, yeah, we're gonna, I mean, attorneys are kind of like sharks that way. So I really, honestly, what I would love for it to do is I would love for it to work. I would love for the payment tool to work, and then things to be all smooth and lovey-dovey. Because that's what it is. It really is. The landlady say, you got the rent, and I say, if I have it by Friday, and it'd be all right. She said, they don't confront me as long as I got the rent by Friday. And and then it'd be all lovey-dovey. And then, of course, if they don't have the rent, then it might be like, if I don't have the rent, out the door I went. But I'm paraphrasing. Remember that it was I think it was called the Houseman's Blues, or the Houseman's Blues, and yeah, it's so funny. John Lee Hooker, it's great. And it was there was a version of it that was called One Whiskey, One Bourbon, One Beer, or something like that, by George Thorogood. One Scotch, one bourbon, or one Scotch, one bourbon, one beer. One Scotch, one bourbon, one beer. But he goes through this whole thing about, like, this whole thing about, do you have the rent? And he tells her, like, I don't have the rent. She's all like, well, better have my rent by Friday, and then, so it's so funny. It's a cool thing. So, anyway, one Scotch, one bourbon, one beer, yeah. Or John Lee Hooker, he did that version, that song, and then he also did the Houseman Blues. George Thorogood, and the Destroyers, they actually combined both of those two songs, and it's great. That's great. George Thorogood, he's the one that did that song, "Bad to the Bone," bad, bad to the bone. We're gonna wait, we're gonna hearts, baby. Wait, broke 1,000 hearts, baby, before I met you. Break 1,000 more before I'm through. I don't know the lyrics. It's so funny. I feel so relieved having found that. And the reason why is because my budget for the first part of this trip is so tight. I have perfected the art of traveling down to the last, like, 50 cents, sometimes, and so there's no extra money, And so just having to go and pay for like an immediate, replacement of a birth certificate. Well, that was going to work out. I was going to be able to do it, but damn, was it really going to hurt? It's all right. Okay, so crisis averted. Love and light. God bless. Good night.